Oh, fuck. Shit. Shit, shit, shit. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I know. I think we all knew, judging from that trailer, that Rob Zombie's The Munsters would be as bad as it looked. The trailer looked bad. All of the word of mouth, everybody thought that this looked bad. But I tried. I attempted to watch this piece of shit film. This is a 2022 film that was written and directed by Rob Zombie, because of course you would want to admit that you wrote and directed this piece of shit film. The plot, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Alright? You have Sherry Moon Zombie playing Lily, who is going around on dates with as many universal monster creatures as she can because she's desperate to find a man, until she meets Herman Munster, who was this Frankenstein creation by these two random ogres, or two random guys who just wanted to create something undead to try to get famous or use him as a road show freak. I don't fucking know. Who fucking cares? Lily meets Herman Munster and the two of them fall in love. But Lily's father, for whatever reason, doesn't like Herman Munster. I mean, I get that he's a little weird. I get that he makes jokes that aren't funny. And I get that his laugh is annoying. But what the fuck? So the grandfather tries to create a spell to break them up and blah, buddy blah, buddy blah, buddy blah. I will be perfectly honest. Usually I don't do this. Usually I don't attack a film before I see it, which, if you're wondering, well, if the trailer looks so bad, why bother watching it? Because I wanted to give the movie a shot. Again, I wasn't expecting it to be good or anything, but I had to see. You know, I had to see if it was going to be as bad as that trailer looked. And when I say I usually don't do this, it's been a long time, a couple years at least, since I attempted to watch a movie and I could not finish it. I got 58 minutes and 1 second into this film before I just had to shut it off. I had to shut it off because I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. I couldn't watch a single solitary minute of this shit bomb before just turning it off. Especially because I saw how long this movie was. I saw how much time I had left. This movie is an hour and like 49 minutes long. I had almost an hour still left. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. There's so many reasons why this movie's bad. There's so many things about this movie that makes it bad. First things first, the writing is atrocious. Rob Zombie, never been known to be the greatest writer in the world. A lot of his movies, hell, all of his movies, right, are really graphic, really gory, and really vulgar horror films that you can kind of get away with every other word being fuck and shit and just having people probably ad-lib their way through committing murders, which is what his movies are mainly about. But this film, because it's PG, which Rob Zombie doing a PG movie, I never thought I'd live to see the day, but because it's PG, and so because you're practically having to bank on his writing, it's terrible. It's unwatchable. Clearly, because I turned it off. But the dialogue is shit. And it's not an excuse that it's PG. It's not an excuse to say, oh, well, it's a kid's film, or he's trying to make this for kids, so he's dumbing the writing down. No. Because other properties that have done this, taken an old franchise and turned it into a movie decades later, The Addams Family movie from the 90s, which I really enjoyed. When I go back and rewatch it now, it still has clever jokes. It still has clever writing. It still has jokes that are obviously for adults, but if you're a kid, it's going to go over your head. That level of writing is crucial to movies like this, because then you're not sitting there feeling like a goddamn fool for putting this movie on. But no, Rob Zombie's not clever like that. No, Rob Zombie's not, at least writing wise, and if it's not a song, he can't write something smarter than that. So this is just the bottom of the barrel, shittiest, lame ass, corny ass jokes that I swear a 5-year-old would watch this and say, dude, this sucks. Dad, do I have to watch this? Do we have to finish this? And I would say, no, son. Let's put on something better. You know, if you're talking about the Munsters as a franchise or a property, I wasn't alive when the Munsters was first on TV, but when I was growing up in the 90s, Nickelodeon used to show the Addams Family and the Munsters reruns, and they would show episodes on Nick at Night. You know, I would watch it late at night and here and there, and so it's not like I'm a huge Munsters aficionado, right? It's not like I can tell you specifically all the episodes and all the plot lines that happen on the show, but I remember the show. I remember the intro. I remember the songs. I remember the characters. I remember what the show is about. And this movie didn't have to do what it did. You know, this movie didn't have to put together this whole weird fucking story of, oh hey, let's show the origins of how Lily and Herman meet, how they fall in love, how they do all of that. Like, let's just have them be together at the beginning. You know, let's bypass all of this bullshit that's not funny anyways, that's not interesting, that's boring as all hell to get through all the rigmarole of them just being a couple. Let's just get there, you know? And there was rumors when this first was like buzzing around that the budget for this movie was $40 million. Now Rob Zombie has dispelled that. Rob Zombie has said, no, that's not true. And the only reason why I'm going to believe him is because this movie looks like shit. You know, this movie does not look like it had a $40 million budget, because if it did, Rob Zombie fucking extorted some movie studio. Is it Universal? Who gave him, even if it was just $5 million, this movie doesn't look like it even cost that. You know, this movie looks like it cost a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand at the most. And whatever else was there, he pocketed. He went on a vacation with his wife. And by the way, stop casting your goddamn wife in the lead roles of your films. She can't act. She's not good. She's only watchable and decent if she's being a crazy fucking psycho bitch. You know, but her trying to do this over the top weird accent or affectation to her voice, and she's so overly theatrical, and I know that the old show was cheesy. I know that the old show was over the top, but it wasn't even this over the top. You know, it wasn't even this lame. It wasn't. And also, you should have just shot this in black and white, because maybe then it wouldn't have made all of these sets look like sets. Maybe then the overly colorization of a lot of these scenes and the green lights that's constantly shining on people, it wouldn't look so bad and cheap, and the makeup wouldn't look so cheap. He should have just gone black and white. I know it's PG, so you're trying to get kids to watch it, and if a kid turns on Netflix and sees a black and white film, they're probably not going to watch it. But guess what? If a kid puts this movie on, I would be shocked if they get past 5 or 10 minutes. I would be shocked. This movie's atrocious. This movie is god-awful. The acting all the way around is bad. I'm not going to go around and say that every single actor in this movie is terrible, because they're all just Rob Zombie's friends. They're all just people that are always in Rob Zombie movies. The guy who plays Herman Munster, he's doing the best that he, by God, can do with this terrible, terrible writing, terrible jokes that they constantly have him do. And the grandpa, look, you're not going to beat the grandpa from the original show, right? Like, that actor really made that grandpa memorable and likable and funny, and this one, just lame. Lame as all hell. Everything about this movie is lame. I did not care what happened past the point of the film where I shut it off. Like, I'm not going to wake up in the middle of the night from a deep dream and a deep sweat of like, oh my god, I need to know how this movie ends. I need to know what happens. I should have known from the trailer not to waste an hour of my life that I will never get back. This is without a doubt the worst movie of the year. I will be shocked in the next, I don't know, couple months if I find a film that's worse than this. This is the shits. This is the shits. You know, all of the movies that I've disliked earlier in the year, I apologize. I'm sorry. You were not nearly as bad. I would gladly rewatch all of those bad movies before thinking about watching this again, before thinking about watching the trailer for this again. Fuck this movie. Fuck it up its ass. Stop letting Rob Zombie make films. I'm sorry. Back in the day, I used to kind of defend his movies, or I used to dig his over-the-top, really aggressive style and the edginess that he sort of brought to it. But I was hoping that even then he would get better, and he hasn't. He's regressed. He's gotten worse, and he's not going to get any better than this bullshit. He's not. I'm not interested. Fuck everyone involved with this goddamn movie, even Netflix. Fuck you, Netflix, for taking this movie and not letting it go in theaters and not letting it go to Peacock. Actually, you know what? Thank you, Netflix. Thank you for letting this movie not go to theaters so I didn't have to pay for it, or so that I didn't have to feel bad walking out of the theater for this. God damn it. I can rant all goddamn day, and I didn't even finish the fucking film. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you also attempted to watch the Munsters on TV on Netflix. How far did you get? Any way that you finished it? I highly doubt it. Shit. And if you're smart, you won't even bother. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.